Darkcast Network. Out of the shadows comes the best of indie podcasts.
Welcome to the J Squared Horror Podcast, where two lifelong horror fans talk all things horror. Pour yourself your favorite drink and hang out. Here are your hosts, Josh and Jake.
Hey guys, welcome to the J Squared Horror Podcast. My name's Josh.
And I'm Jake.
And on today's episode, what are we going to be discussing?
We are discussing 2023's The Jester, directed by Colin Krawchuk.
Now, I'm pretty sure I said this was like a Shudder movie last time, but it's just Dread movie. So it's not free. It is $4.99 to watch on Amazon. How'd you watch it?
Amazon.
$4.99?
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, my whole idea about these cheaper movies and like things you might not have heard of kind of fucking messed up. Second episode. The whole vibe of everything that I watched about this movie made it seem like it was just going to be on Shudder.
Yeah, it did.
That's my fault. That once again, we're not an information-based podcast. So it came to bite me in the ass when I...
yeah, we're just saying whatever.
Yeah, when I looked it up last night to watch it, I was like, some bitch, I got to pay $4.99 for this. So yeah, if you don't want any spoilers about The Jester, it is available on Amazon Prime for $4.99. If you don't want to spend the money on it, you just want to hear what we think about the movie, stick along and check it out. But before we get into the episode on The Jester, what would we like to let anyone new to our podcast know, Jake?
As always, like and subscribe on YouTube.
Pretty please.
We're also on Spotify.
We are.
We're on Apple.
We are.
And still Google.
It's a ticking time bomb at this point. So.
But always on Instagram.
Yep.
J Squared Horror Podcast. Link tree in the bio. New episodes every Thursday.
Every single Thursday, two lifelong horror fans decide to get together and do what they consider the most original podcast out there. With this podcast, we'd like to open up lines of communications between all styles of horror fans. Whether you're new to horror, whether you've been a horror fan for a long time, we just want to chat about all things horror. If you have any movie recommendations or if you want to be on the episode live and in person like a couple of people have done, you can go to our website, www.jsquaredhorrorpodcast.com. Super easy website to navigate. You can click on some links. It'll send us emails. We'll talk about it. We'll either throw it on the dry erase board or we'll email you back with a couple questions to make sure you're not a murderer if you want to be on the podcast. What I'd also like to mention is we are a part of the Darkcast Network. I know, it's pretty fucking cool. The Darkcast Network has been a great support group for a podcasting network. They are about independent, strange, dark, and mysterious, and now horror podcast. We only release episodes every Thursday, so if you need something to fill that void all week, please go check out the Darkcast Network. They will fill that need for you. They have a plethora of options for podcasting, whether it's true crime, dark and mysterious, or anything like that. So a big shout out to those ladies and gentlemen over there at the Darkcast Network. Getting better at those intros, man.
Yeah.
Burning through them.
It's almost like you write it down.
It's almost like I do, but every single week, you guys can't tell, I'm just trying my best to remember what I say every week.
Well, you're doing a good job.
Thank you, buddy. Yeah, The Jester is a movie. It is a quote-unquote horror movie, and that'll make more sense when we get towards the latter part of this episode. I will say real quickly, trigger warnings for anybody that struggles with dark thoughts, suicide, or anything like that. If that really bothers you or can consume your brain, please do not watch this movie. Maybe you can just check out how we feel about it. We've both been down some pretty dark rabbit holes in our lives, so I feel like we can bring some relatable content in this movie because that's what a lot of this movie surrounds. So if that does bother you on a deeper, darker level, please do not watch this movie. It can be triggering at times. So just keep that in mind. Because I know some people do struggle with, they might not be as out of the darkness as we may be now. So just keep that in mind if you want to watch this movie. But I will say the best acting happens in the first 10 minutes of this movie.
I 100% agree.
Whoever that guy is, John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt, whatever his name was.
He was good.
It's an Oscar-worthy performance that guy throws down.
He portrayed emotions very well.
Perfectly.
Better than anyone else does this entire movie. The
cops were second. Like they were the second my favorites.
Yeah, so what's crazy is those cops in that scene, I'm
Yeah.
like, this is some good acting.
Dude,
Those are good questions you're asking.
Yeah, they were like some of the best cops in horror
They were.
until they met the monster that is the Jester.
Even their reaction was like, yeah, I love this.
It was so organic.
Yeah.
I can't wait to get into that part with you. But yeah, the beginning of this movie starts out pretty intense. That's why I went ahead and hit you with that trigger warning already. You've already had it. So we're going to kind of get into it right now. This guy he's an older gentleman, bald, looks like he's a mechanic of some sort. He looks like, not the top tier kind of class guy. Definitely has some struggles with things in life. Makes a phone call. You also kind of notice there's somebody kind of following him in the background. Looks like the Jester. Obviously, you know what he looks like just by the movie poster. And it then gets immediately into this mysterious character that is the Jester. So just off of that alone, how do you feel the Jester comes in? Maybe against, like, say, Black Phone, maybe like Sinister, Bagul. How do you feel he plays? Does he place for you at all?
Yeah, so I'm big on the look.
The look is phenomenally good.
So it's just like with Thanksgiving.
Yes.
We're
Yeah,
the
you were.
biggest fans of the movie.
Yep.
But I like the look of the killer.
Yeah.
I like the look of the Jester.
Now, do you feel like this was a complete, not copy of the Terrifier movies, but leaning on the success, they're hoping to lean on the success of a whimsical, clownish monster like Art in order to portray the Jester? Do you think that was in their first thoughts upon creating this?
So yes and no.
Okay.
Yes, because of the popularity of Art,
Yeah, Terrifier has a cult following for sure.
but no, because it's a clown or a jester. They're whimsical.
Yeah, what's weird.
They're meant to like do magic or tell jokes or make a person laugh. That's what clowns and jesters do.
Yeah, but it was weird because we just watched a quick little 8-minute video,
Yeah.
and the guy said that he looked clown-like, and I don't feel like it does.
No,
I feel like it leans way more Jester than it does clown. Now, they are similar occupations, if you will, but Art is like super fucked up. And this movie isn't gory and disgusting like a Terrifier film would be. And I was kind of hoping for it, and that was one of the reasons I wanted to cover it. Because off of some of what I got from the preview, I thought that it was going to be some crazy stuff that
I
happened.
watched the same preview too.
Yeah.
And what you get in the preview and what you get from the actual movie
Yeah.
are not the same thing.
No, they are not.
They are not. But like I said, the look. He's like nicely dressed, I like his little cane. He has, to me, more of a more normal personality
Yeah.
than, let's say, Art the Clown or Pennywise
Yeah.
or other or Bagul,
Yeah, Bagul. I mean, that's just one of the ones that popped in my head.
Also well dressed.
Yeah, Bagul.
Yeah.
We are rocking the two-piece.
Yeah.
Nice white shirt underneath. Always keeping it classy. It is cool. It is a Halloween night-based film, which you already know that should immediately give points for the J Squared Horror guys. There are some questionable. It's definitely a B-list movie. Obviously being produced by Dread, and obviously, I don't think it had a theatrical release. I'm not sure. I'm guessing it was straight to streaming. If I was to guess,
If I was to guess, I'd say the same thing. I think B is being
very
generous.
generous.
Yeah.
And I'm just talking about production value. I feel like is higher, and that's why I give it a B. The acting is definitely more towards a C list, but the movie visually is stunning. It looks very good.
It does look good. You're right, yeah.
And even some of so what he's able to do is very magic related. So like if somebody's being pulled up in the air, it doesn't look fake. It looks very realistic, and it, in the sense of viewing it as a movie patron, not necessarily like what's happening in the film makes sense. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem okay. It's not something that could realistically happen.
Yeah.
But if you're
But
watching
it looks good.
It looks fine.
It looks very realistic.
It's not like poor CGI.
Yeah.
It's like strings in the back or anything. It looks good.
Yeah, everything on those. That's a lot of times that's what we pick apart, because like you'll have a good story and then you'll do like weird CGI kills for no reason or like off screen. Now, a lot of this movie, I feel like at the end of it is up to the viewer on what actually happened or not, which as you guys know, plays a big part into your boy Josh's here, how he feels about the movies. But there are kills, obviously. There is blood, obviously. There's bad acting, obviously. And there's trick-or-treating, which is good. But I feel like this movie is meant to have this really deep meaning. I feel like that's what it was all about. I do not feel like it should be considered a horror film.
Because of
the end.
So,
and like what you find out.
So I guess my question is, so I always say horror is like the intent to
scare,
invoke fear.
Yeah.
Do you think the intent of this movie was to invoke fear or awareness?
Awareness.
Yeah.
I honestly feel like this is a suicide awareness movie.
Yeah.
And I know I'm not probably supposed to use that terminology, but fuck it. I can't get canceled when I don't exist yet.
One day.
Yeah, cancel me off this episode. That's fine. I do, with the end product, I feel like this is more awareness than anything because it really leaves you in this, like, did anything happen?
So that was my question. So is
like, what the fuck?
So is the Jester like a metaphor?
It is.
Because we didn't watch the short.
We watched the short, and the short was what I thought this movie was.
Yeah. It's almost like they took that short, like, this is good, but
how do we make it deeper?
How do you make
highbrow?
It deeper and highbrow. Highbrow horror. Yeah, this you got what's the guy with the hat?
Are you talking about Black Phone?
No.
Oh. Babadook?
Babadook, yeah.
Babadook.
Also well dressed.
Babadook is creepy.
Well dressed and the hat. So
the hat game is strong.
They took from different things. But yeah. So then it does make you think, did anything happen?
Yeah.
Did her friend really die?
Yeah, did he lose his eyeballs and his teeth?
But
that was my number one question.
But what's crazy is
because he wasn't in the end of the film.
Other people can see the Jester.
Yeah, like it has the final product of this movie
doesn't match anything else.
The entire first hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Which really pissed me off. And it's not pissed off in the sense of like, was it Mother? What was that one that I really didn't like? Mama. And there's like other ones, I'm sure. But like to completely negate your entire film off
this
of
is more
you're
like
portraying.
April Fool's Day almost.
It is.
Yeah.
But also it's like less than April Fool's Day in my opinion, because like that was a dream inside of a fucked up person's head about a specific 5 or 6 people, not random people on the streets of fucking this small town.
That's what I don't get.
The cops that, so basically
this movie, honestly, I don't understand it. I lost interest, for being honest, after like the 20-minute part. I still watched it, obviously.
Yeah.
I still noticed things, but
I'm sure at the end you were super irritated then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And usually endings don't really, to me, tarnish a movie.
You're finally getting a taste of that, huh?
This is the very first one.
Yeah. So just as like a synopsis, I guess, for you guys, just to kind of understand, because I'm not walking through this whole fucking film. I'm not interested enough in this film to like sit here and ask you questions about like small parts. So basically, the father of these 2 estranged sisters kills himself, according to everybody. But what we get at the beginning of the film is he gets hung by the Jester as like a practical joke, but that killed him. So you kind of come into this movie thinking like, is this like some weird curse of this town of like Halloween, and it's real whimsical and creepy. And I was on board with that part.
That was too.
I was like, this guy has like magical powers that maybe we'll get an answer for. Maybe it's like backed in some history or something, like some witch or something. Who knows? I'd be okay. Like some demon even, but it's portrayed in a modern way. I'm cool with that. And then the sisters meet at the funeral and they don't like each other. And then the one sister's like cool and edgy and like goes off and drinks. And then the other sister tries to be comforted by her friends and gets into a haunted maze type situation and finds some scary stuff. And then some motherfuckers start getting dropped there. And then the other girl that went off gets crazy situations to happen there. But that's where the questions lie. So I'm going to get into that with Jake real quick. So the one side plot is the older sister going off, drinking, and then going into the store multiple times to then include that store clerk and then the cops into the Jester's world. But also there's kids that trick or treat that you see are in the Jester's world too, so you're like super confused. He kind of gave like Sam vibes, like if you didn't like respect him or like follow like some kind of trick-or-treating rule. Like the one older kid was breaking the trick-or-treating rule by taking all the candy, and he really messed with him, but not the other one.
Yeah.
But then that didn't make sense because his hand went through his bag and was still scaring the kid that wasn't misbehaving. So that negated that situation. But when you get to the cop part, she's being followed by this Jester, and he looks like just a dude on Halloween night that is probably just drunk and being a creep, where he's like keeps following or keeps bugging you, which anybody, especially at the ocean front, for us, like this is reality for us. If we do a bar crawl or if we do anything like that at the ocean front, a bunch of people are dressed up. You know, I was sitting there being asked by random strangers to run up to their car and take pictures with them because I was dressed as Michael Myers. There's like it's that whole strip effect where it's like, this is the main part of the town. There's going to be some weirdos. And you're thinking like, okay, you saw the magical whimsicalness of this when he killed the dad. And then like other bits and pieces. But he just constantly seems like he wants attention. And you're like, all right. And if you don't give it to him, is that why he follows you? Which is kind of what the movie leads to. It's like if you, even in the short, when the two guys gave him a round of applause for doing the behind the ear candy trick, he leaves them alone.
That's what I don't get. 'Cause even in the short, when he gives the guy the candy, he tells him,
Yeah.
thanks.
Yeah. But he
Tries to get by. Hey.
But then he compliments his costume. And I think that opens up a whole nother line of
so
questioning. Just do not interact with
Don't
them.
engage.
Yeah, do not engage. Yeah. Which is like bum rules 101.
True.
Do not engage.
Don't engage.
Yeah. Keep it moving. Throw a quarter in the cup and keep it moving. You know, with inflation, it's now $1, but you get the gist. But you get the cop scene where it's like she's being what's crazy is like she drops her bottle. He picks up a piece of glass, slits his throat, his head falls backwards, and blood squirts on her, which everybody can see. We know that for a fact.
Yeah.
Because when she walks back into the convenience store with the cool guy that was
her
like kind
Carrie.
of hitting on her,
Yeah.
he called her Carrie
Yeah.
immediately. So you're like, okay, this isn't all make-believe. And when the cops show up, she had already washed her face but still had some blood on her head, and she's trying to explain to these nice, very smart cops what's going on, and they're just like, yo, this lady's on some shit. And somebody's playing like a really good practical joke on you, and she's like, no. Then you hear the front door chime. You see the top hat walking through the aisles of the convenience store, then does his little magical move where he gets behind you without having to move. And the cops immediately engage. And they're like, yo, dude, like you're being kind of a lot right now.
Yeah.
And he never talks, which I respect.
He has him take the mask off. You got to ask you some questions. You know, it's a real person.
It seems like it's a real person.
Everyone can see.
Yeah. Or a real entity that everybody can see at least. But we're going with person. The guy never talks, never breaks, never takes off his mask, never even seems like he's going to give up at all times.
I only say person because you can tell it's a mask.
You can tell it's a mask because you can see the definition of the mask line to the makeup on the neck.
Yeah.
And they kind of, like, they shoot it in a sense where you should, like, you believe you're going to know who this guy is by the end of the film. Spoiler alert, you don't.
Never.
So you're sitting there like, is this just some, like, bullied kid, or is this just somebody that wants attention and he's, like, really good at magic tricks and killing people magically? But when the cop thing happens, that's when I was pretty much like, all right. I don't get what's going on anymore, because he puts his hat on one cop's head, and at first it just sounds like he breaks his neck.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay, he's going to fall down. He's going to be dead. And his partner is going to shoot and then whatever.
Yeah.
But he doesn't. He puts the fucking hat on this cop's head, and it just turns it into a fucking nub.
Yeah.
And he's still alive and like looking for his head.
Yeah. So it didn't kill him.
It did not kill him.
No. He just took his head.
His partner killed him because he shot him 4 times in the back.
Which, if I have no head now,
dude, you can kill me.
Yeah,
I give you full permission.
Yeah, take me out, dude.
Yeah, take me out. If I have a nub neck and my face and brain is gone, just
but how does that work? You can't see. I don't get it.
I don't know. It looked good. It didn't look fake.
It did look good.
It looked good. That's what pisses me off about this movie. It looked so good.
It showed you his head wasn't like decapitated.
No, it was literally just like folded. It was like a cauterized wound almost.
Yeah, it's like someone just took the head and just sewed and like burned it.
Just pop
Yeah,
that
you're
thing right off.
There's still skin there.
Yeah, it was like folded in.
Yeah.
You could see the detail. Like they did a good job on that stuff. We're not complaining about that.
No,
stuff.
not at all. No.
We're complaining about the whole movie as a whole.
Yeah. The movie itself.
Yeah, the whole point of this movie. And then the cop. What sucks is the other cop, the partner who is engaging more, shoots and he catches the bullet. And I'm now like, this is strike almost 2 and 3 already. I'd rather it have just like hit the mask and it been like bulletproof per se than for him to be able to catch a moving bullet. And then it completely cuts off screen and you don't know exactly what happens to the other cop.
Well, you see the clerk run out.
The clerk murks early on before the girl slips and falls, knocks herself out for a couple seconds.
As you should.
And he read the room and was like, I'm out this bit.
Yeah, I'm out.
He's the stand-up character of the Jester is the random store clerk.
He did read the room.
He knew how to read a room and he knew how to get out of Dodge. And I'm proud of you for that, bud. Because at first you immediately thought he was the first to go once the Jester showed up. Yeah. He was kind of like hit on the girl when she came in and she was like, nah. But once again, he read the room and was like, oh, cool. Right, like, whatever. Can I help you with anything? He's the best character. I don't know his name. Yeah. Store clerk guy, backwards hat, sunglasses, or not sunglasses, glasses and beard.
As soon as he said, oh, you're not interested? All right, well.
Yeah, what do you need?
Do you want to sign up for the membership card? Save 10% or?
He was trying to get her number. Yeah, that's a trick.
Yeah.
That's a trick. I used to do it at a coffee shop.
She said, I'm going to either pay for it or steal it.
You're like, well, you're definitely going to pay for it.
Yeah, so go ahead.
Break out that card. Go and tap here.
Yeah, this movie makes no sense to me. This is the first movie we've ever covered during this podcast. I was lost.
Lost in the sauce, man.
Like, literally the entire movie.
I was even trying to, I watched it completely sober. I had no alcohol in my system. Maybe I should have.
Alcohol might have helped.
Yeah, alcohol might have helped. Because even when, this is going to be a short one, guys. Even when, I just realized that.
Yeah, we're almost done.
Yeah, we're almost done. Even when you get memorable, what could be deaths towards the latter part of this movie, right?
When it's the group of friends?
The group of friends part confuses me. So they're all at a haunted attraction in October. It's the big pool of the town. Makes sense. Not questioning that at all. We have the haunted hayride out here.
Yeah.
We've talked about it. Bad Candy episode. Go back. Don't listen to it.
Go back.
This gives you Bad Candy vibes.
It gave me Bad Candy vibes. It gave me, Hellfest vibe when they get to the haunted house.
We remember we couldn't figure out which one we covered that time? Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they all blur into one.
They're all the same thing.
Yeah.
That's the problem with horror today.
It all blurs into one. Well, B-list horror today. Or C-list horror today. It sucks, man, because like what you get, like what you think you're going to get is not what you get. And it for anybody that like that's how you base like what movie we try not to like read reviews or anything like that. So we watch a nice little preview. And this one I had seen a few times. And I was like, I kind of love the look of this guy. I think it was more or less the look of the guy that got me intrigued than anything.
Do you think if you wouldn't have watched the trailer,
no, it had no play on it. No.
Really?
No, the movie itself is bad.
Okay.
Because, say I didn't watch the trailer.
Yeah.
Right? And I just got the first 10 minutes of that movie.
Okay.
I loved it.
Yeah.
But also, I loved the short. We didn't know the short existed. We didn't know this was based off of a short.
No.
So we actually just watched the short tonight. The short's actually not bad. I can understand why you'd want to do a full budget film.
It's 10 minutes
off of the 10-minute short that we got, because it's everything that you think. It's a magical killer that just makes it to where like you're almost against all odds, and there's no mental way to defeat it, because he's just playing whimsical games with you or miming you, and you get hit by a car. Like I wish we would have just decided to cover the short. We'd probably get more content out of it.
I think I like the short because of, like you mentioned, oceanfront. I could see someone on the boardwalk.
Yes.
Like just stopping you.
Yeah, it's reality.
And, like doing magic with you for a little bit.
It's reality. And it also starts and ends the same way.
Yeah.
It is exactly what you thought, but you don't have to understand it. Like you don't always need an explanation for why the person exists. Why the person is doing what it does.
That's why the 10-minute one was good.
That's why the 10-minute one is good.
You're an hour and a half. You're like, okay, well, I need a why.
Yeah, I need a why, how, and
Usually, I don't need origin stories. This movie,
Yeah, I need something, dude.
need an origin story.
I needed something. I needed something to explain this. So it's like Smile is pretty fucking similar off of just context of like,
Yeah,
yeah.
it is. Yeah,
And Smile's a knockout film.
Yeah.
It's a knockout film. Also came out a year prior or same year.
you're prior
I think it's a 3.
22. I thought for Smile.
Oh, was it 22?
I thought
Man,
so.
we didn't get shit in 23, did we?
Now we got a Scream.
Yeah.
Scream 6.
That's it because all those characters quit.
I mean, if you guys want to do like a reboot type of thing, or
I'm cool with them just bringing back the OGs.
can we get a prequel?
Yeah.
Yeah, give us a prequel to Scream 1.
Yeah, let's get the Maureen Prescott
Yeah,
story.
give me the backstory to Maureen Prescott.
Bring back Skeet and Stu.
Yeah, I
But
want to see them in middle
Still
school.
have them the age they are now, just playing themselves in
Yeah.
like freshman year.
Yeah, they're a freshman year of high school, like old as fuck.
I mean, they both look great for their age.
Be like a true 80s horror movie.
It would be. It would be
Yeah.
like a legitimate true 80s
Yeah.
horror. And it came out in 96, so it's like not the farthest stretch in the world. Early 90s.
True.
We've seen some pretty abysmal early 90s films.
Yeah.
I fucking hate this movie. So when they're at the haunted attraction, if you will,
The haunted attraction.
the haunted attraction. The girl gets freaked out.
Because she's the feet dangling.
She sees like, well, she also saw people dressed as her dad walking in the crowd, and then like some other crazy shit. So once again, that part didn't take me out of the movie because you're dealing with trauma that that's a tough day. Your dad committed suicide and it's Halloween. So it's like you're gonna see some shit that's gonna fuck with you.
True.
And the friends should have known better than to take her to this here
Well,
fine
they
festival.
offered to not take her.
They did. And then
She
she saw her
insisted on
dad
going.
in the house as a ghost and was like, I'm out. I need to go. Get out of the house. I'm already high.
Yeah, fair enough.
They were also watching House on the Hill, right?
Yeah, House on Haunted Hill.
House
yeah.
on Haunted Hill.
Yeah.
A great movie. Way better than this one. Came out fucking 100 years ago.
Yeah, it's a lot better than this
A
one.
lot better than this one. And I did like that. The little paid homage to the classics. Gives you, every other classic 80s slasher where they're watching a movie in a movie. But, big butt here, ladies and gentlemen.
Love a big butt.
I love a big butt too. I like a proportionate butt. I can't deal with them Kardashian asses, man. I don't know what to do with them. But you got that, and then they're like at a cotton candy stand, and the guy's out of all the flavors, and the one Mindy looking character. You tell me that's not what you first thought.
Yeah, that
come
is,
on.
Yeah.
Was like arguing with him, and then they pan off to the other friend sitting at the table. She's kind of off by herself, and then the one girl's like, "I'm gonna go check on Mindy." I'm just calling her Mindy. She didn't have a name in the
that's
movie.
fine. Call her Mindy.
And then they're like, "Keep an eye on her," and she just gets up because she sees her dad with her as a kid. It's weird. Once again, no explanations for any of this.
Yeah, it does explain these weird hallucinations.
Because the dad had hallucinations the first night. He saw her.
So my only
That's the girl that peeked around the corner.
yeah. So
I'm
my
pretty
own-
sure.
My only thought process is
Please, please give us something.
based on what the older daughter says later when she's at his grave.
Yeah.
The problems he has she also has,
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah.
which is hallucinations.
Yeah.
So maybe it's schizophrenia, bipolar, who knows?
Jesus.
So the dad had it
Everything I have.
and passed it on to both kids,
Yeah.
and both kids have it.
Yeah.
So I guess the Jester is the metaphor for these things.
All right.
You would think, but it negates that when everyone can fucking see the Jester.
So that's the thing.
So I don't know.
Yeah. So what happened? What's crazy is the Jester sits down with the guy, and then he's like playing the hide a thing in cups.
Yeah.
Moving a salt shaker, opens up pepper shaker. I'm like, greatest trick in the history of mankind.
Yeah, I said, not bad.
I was like, that's pretty good, bro. I don't know how you did it. I don't know and even the guy sits back and goes, "Meh, pretty good. Gave him his credit, but didn't engage anymore, so that negates all of our other theories.
Yeah, he
did not engage anymore. Then he picks up another cup and it's his teeth, and then he spits out blood, and I'm like, okay, also he kills 2 cemetery guys. I forgot about that shit.
Shit.
Killed 2 cemetery guys. And then pulls out another one, his eyeballs, and then he runs off screaming toothless and eyeballless to his friends that then tackles the one girl. I'm like, holy crap. This movie's just taking a complete turn. And then it off screen disappears the main girl. And you're like, okay, I've given this movie 13 chances to give me some piece of something.
No.
And I have nothing.
You're not getting anything.
And then he appears to the older sister who sees her dad on the bridge where he died. And you're like, fuck. I know exactly what's about to happen.
Yep.
And I didn't, but I did.
Yeah, same thing.
Yeah, I knew, but I didn't know.
You know what should have happened.
Yeah, you know what should have happened, but didn't. So she got just like her daddy did, and then she awakens in an alternate fucking universe. Yeah. That's where we're at now, ladies and gentlemen. Not only did we take a whimsical Jester character in an orange suit with an awesome mask that did crazy magic tricks to make you kill yourself or just die, to an alternate reality where she had the bruise on her neck. So in my head, she died in real life. That's what my brain was telling me. Everybody that died had died, and now they're in this like purgatory. Then you see the dad walk into the fucking building. She talks to a little sister or herself. I can't remember all the names.
I think it was her sister.
I already clocked out.
But then,
so I wasn't like trying to pick up on anything.
All of a sudden, it's current day her sister?
Yeah. And then what's crazy, they're in this like cathedral almost, or like a tomb. And he gives her a knife. And the sister is like telling her some pretty fucked up stuff about how like she deserved everything that happened.
She's
to
a
her.
burden on everyone in life.
And what's crazy is what I think the totality or the final reason of this movie is, and I'll get to that in just a second, is, and it's like that's what a lot of people are dealing with in their lows.
Yeah.
Like that's what a big part of at least my depression has always been, is a burden or like not feeling like anybody really gives a shit about your existence. And that's a hard pill to swallow for anybody.
Very hard.
No matter what success you have. And I think that if you look at the history of, even famous suicides, that at the end of the day, as happy as they made us all, or as all the entertainment they were able to provide for us and never mattered to them enough. It's very sad. But you're getting that and you're like, Jesus, Mary and Joseph, the whole fucking family. I got nothing as far as what this movie's trying to do to me. She takes the knife from the Jester, stabs not him, which makes 1,000% 0% sense. Did she stab him already a couple times, or was that later?
No, so she
stabs her sister.
Yeah,
I know that.
Her sister's talking that shit.
Oh no, she stabs her sister and then stabs him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she stabbed her sister in this alternate
reality. Yeah. Wakes up.
Because she's saying to her to wake up.
Yeah, wake up, and you stab?
Yeah.
That would not be my first instinct.
No. I would just wait.
Because it's like she took control over the trance, if you will. Like the trance that they were in, the younger sister was able to be like, wake up.
She's ready to break through and say, wake up, wake up.
Come with me. Like, it's okay. Everything will be fine. But you still stab her?
Yeah. But
that made the least sense out of all the shit that made no sense.
I think she lived, though.
Fuck if I know.
I can't tell. Because when you get to the end, they're at the tombstone, and the mom says on the phone to say or give her love to so-and-so.
Yeah.
I thought they were going to show the sister.
That's what they wanted you to see, is that you thought she was walking up to the tombstone of her sister, but it was the dad, and that everything's fine, right?
Yeah.
But also when she comes to and stabs the Jester a bunch of times while the sister is lying there dying, screaming, she's now screaming for help. How did they all get there?
No
First
idea.
of all, where are we? We're in a 2-minute cemetery.
I don't know. Maybe they were sleepwalking.
And then, like you said, it pans off. It does like a little cut scene, woof, woof, into how many ever days later, years later, if you will. I don't know. And she's on the phone with her mom.
I mean, honestly, it could have been the next day for all we know.
Yeah, but she was fine. So it's like, did the stabbing never happen? Did she already go to the hospital and survive?
Well,
like, these are the questions that I have.
No one knows.
Yeah, no one knows, because it gives you this very fake happy ending, in my opinion. But what it gives you is what I think the purpose of this movie is. and I think we're on the same page
Okay.
as far as to what we think the analogy is for this entire movie. So I did write down in my notes.
Okay.
Here's something crazy, real quickly. I finished this movie at 11:11 p.m. on the dot. Tell me that's not great.
What does that mean?
I don't know, but 11:11 is like you should say a wish.
Did you?
No.
Damn.
But to just think about it for a second, though. All the things that I've been through in my life, all the lows and the highs that I've been through, for a movie like this to end at such a specific time, I'm talking post-credit scenes were rolling. I checked my phone to write my notes, and it's 11:11.
You should have made a wish.
I should have, and it means I'm probably going to fucking die.
Damn.
So, sorry, everyone that loves me. The Jester's going to come get me.
I guess it's the last episode.
I guess so. So, I this is what I wrote down. I said, Jester is a metaphor for the dark and overwhelming thoughts of suicide and depression.
That's what I gather from that.
Yes. So, but the Jester himself, the entity of the Jester, is somehow just your worst case scenarios playing out in your head.
But I guess as a jester, you're putting on a happy face.
Yeah.
In reality, you're dealing with some shit.
So it's actually like, that's why I don't feel like this is a horror film. It's more of like if you're not okay, go seek help.
Yeah.
Don't put on that fake face again. But my question,
it's almost like they took this short.
Yeah.
Like, we're going to take this, we'll put a fucking message we want.
Yeah.
In between it.
Yeah. Which, hey, cool.
Do it.
I hope that out of the 17 million people that watched the short, half of them got to at least get the message. I hope. I don't say you have to enjoy this movie.
Well,
but
the message isn't in the short at all.
No, that's what I'm saying. But maybe they went on because there's 2 more parts that we never watched. So maybe they brought in this whole suicide aspect to it. I don't know.
I don't know either.
I was not going to divulge any more time into the Jester. But for somebody that has legitimately struggled with stuff like this in my life, it's like, as much as I hate this movie, I hope that people can get that message. And
I do too.
And like legitimately like be okay and be like, if you watch this movie, you see these crazy deaths and these crazy scenarios, all that is your brain telling you the worst case scenario, and that's not at all reality. And it's fucked up that we have to have stuff like this in order to kind of awaken us from shit like that. But you do. And for anybody that enjoys horror, I feel like this movie, if you are in those dark spots, you can actually get a lot from it because it shows you no matter what you had going into it, no matter what you even thought you had going out of it, there is a light at the end of the tunnel. And the light in this movie was that the sisters were closer, the friends were still alive, or a couple of the friends were still alive. And that she realized that it's all just in her head, and as long as she doesn't pay attention to it, it will not mess with her. I think that's what the meaning was.
I 100%
yeah.
agree.
So it's like it gets dark and like you do some retrospective thinking.
Yeah, but you get to that light at the end of the tunnel.
You will get to that light at the end of the tunnel. So if I can segment this part out for maybe like a short or something, that'd be cool. But we've mentioned this numerous times on the podcast, and I'm just going to reiterate it right here, right now, because of this episode. But I don't care who you are, what you've been through. If you really honestly don't feel like you have anybody that you can reach out to, you have 2 guys right here that have both been down some pretty dark tunnels, and we've both luckily seen a dim light at the end of it that we can reach out to and keep trying to continue to. You know, a lot of times we jokingly say comment or email us, but I swear to you, if you're going through anything at all, you can reach out to us. Obviously, we're not the best resource, but if you really feel like you don't have anything, reach out to us. We'll crack a joke, try to make you laugh, and tell you that life is honestly worth it.
Yeah.
Obviously, there are 1-800 numbers you can call. I don't know them off the top of my head, but if you really do feel like you're that far gone and the Jester's going to get you, please reach out, and we'll do our best to make you smile and let you know that everything's going to be all right.
It makes me think about what happened here recently.
Yeah. I mean, here locally, I mean, geez, you never know. You really never know what people are going through. And if your deep, dark thoughts are a guy in an orange suit with a Jester mask, you know, it's all in your head. That's all we're trying to say. Yeah. And we consume a lot of fucked up shit as a hobby for us and something that we enjoy. But when you can get something like that out of a movie, you know, as much as I hated the entire movie, it's something that maybe somebody needs to hear somewhere. So
yeah,
for that, I give my tilt of the hat to the creators of this movie. If that's what you guys are going for, good job. Because for people that were just trying to watch a movie that we thought was going to be like Art the Clown, that's not what we got.
Not at all. And I feel bad now for what my rating's going to be.
Yeah, I do too. So this is not why we're rating the movie this low, is because of the meaning. It's because we rate movies on our watching experience.
Yeah.
And that's just something we're going to stay true to. That's why I wanted to get this part, this car part in there before we got into the rating. Yeah. Because I don't want you to hear like it was a 1, but hey, remember,
you matter.
But you do. Everybody matters. No matter
every single one of you guys.
Every single person that in this world, it matters. No matter how shitty they are, and no matter how shitty you think your situation is. Just know that if the Jester's coming for you, just keep them in the back of your head or try to get rid of them completely. So for that. Please look for that light at the end of the tunnel if you can.
Yeah.
It can be something small as doing a podcast every week. It can be as small as making a single phone call to somebody that you know will answer. And I guarantee you there is somebody out there that will answer. Even though you think you're a burden or you think that you don't matter. So with that, let's try to pick this up by its fucking bootstraps here.
You about to rate this thing?
Yeah, I just want to ask, is there anything you wanted to add? I know we kind of agreed pretty fundamentally on the end there.
Not a damn thing.
Yep. So, cheers to anybody that's struggling. But, Jake, on a scale from 1 to 10, buddy, what do you rate The Jester from 2020?
On a scale from 1 to 10, The Jester is a 3. What about you?
On a scale from 1 to 10. I give The Jester a 3 as well. It's crazy because right before you said it, 3 popped into my head right then.
Yeah, this movie fucking sucks.
I didn't know if you're going to go lower or maybe a little bit higher, but yeah, the movie's not good.
Only got a 3 because of the look of the killer. I know that's super dumb.
Yeah. If the killer didn't look this cool, it was a 0, dude.
Yeah.
Or like a 0.1.
It'd be very low. But yeah, the killer, the look gave it a 3. So it's, to me, obviously 5 for me is always an average movie. This is below average.
Yep.
And it's not a movie I recommend.
I honestly don't feel like it's horror.
Also,
that's a big part of it.
Never watch it again.
I will never watch it again. It's not our cup of tea, if you will. It's not something that I guess neither one of us are really in places for that movie currently in our lives. Yeah. Because we kind of have each other and some other people in our lives that keep our light pretty bright at the end of the tunnel. But yeah, it's a bad movie. It has a good meaning, but a bad movie. You can have a good meaning all you want, but the movie can still suck. I watched what's that quarterback from the fucking Arizona Cardinals? Who's a grocery boy?
Oh, Kurt Warner?
I watched the Kurt Warner movie. I know it has a great meaning, but the movie fucking sucks.
Just like to my football earlier. It's not about the intent.
It's not about the intent.
Okay?
It's not.
Finished product.
It's about the finished product.
Trash.
Garbage.
It's not good.
In the words of Josh, it is top tier dog shit. Still not lower than Bad Candy, though. What's that tell you guys?
When's Virginia Bitches coming out?
I don't know that. They've been working on it for 20 years. I can't fucking tell.
Man.
It's hard to make movies, dude.
I'm ready to talk about that movie.
I am, too. I'm also ready for Hellvan 2.
Maybe be extras in. Oh, Hellvan 2.
Hellvan 2, I'm excited for.
By the next convention, maybe?
That would be cool.
That would be.
Oh, we can cover Hellvan 2 a year?
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be sick. I could drink with Jorge and them.
Jorge.
Oh, man, that'd be fucking dope.
If you're listening, Jorge.
Jorge, you're not. But if you are, we miss you, buddy.
Let us know.
Yeah.
We did miss you. We miss all you guys.
Yeah, you guys were a hoot.
And bring some more Bush.
Bush lattes. Yeah. It was, sorry. This is my idea.
Sorry.
I apologize. Any idea what we want
As
to do
we
next
look
week?
to the board,
we covered that, and we covered that.
I feel like this is
that.
This is to let you guys know. Nothing on that board is telling me let's cover it next week.
0 things on that board.
0.
So if you guys have any requests, let us know. Go to our website, www.jsquaredhorrorpodcast.com. And don't forget that Scooby-Doo's on that list as well. let's see here.
So when it comes to Scooby-Doo, real quick.
It's Scooby-Doo and the Curse of Zombie Island.
Yeah. So it's a cartoon
Yeah.
horror movie. I love Scooby-Doo. Used to watch it a lot growing up. The older movies or the newer movies, not the biggest fan of. Live action or cartoon?
Live action were good.
You think so?
I loved them.
Okay.
But also the Zombie Island one was good. I watched it.
All right.
It was good.
You want to cover it?
And part of me does, but we'll talk about it off the mics.
Do it now then.
No.
Tell the fans.
No, we're not covering it yet.
So Nessie, we're going to cover.
No. We are not. Oh, next week we might. Oh, the possession thing.
Boom. There we go.
We got to reach out to a couple people. There's a crazy cool event going on in Norfolk, Virginia. And luckily, I didn't say Norfolk like some of our non-locals will.
No one from here says Norfolk.
But there's this channel that has been oh my gosh. You know how hard it is to do this, ladies and gentlemen?
It looked very hard.
Yeah. All right. So next Tuesday, which is when we record episodes, a content creator by the name of What James Watched invited us to go out to a screening. I can't say this person's name. We won't be able to say it next week either.
Now we're good.
Yep. It's Possession. We've talked about this movie briefly with Caleb Jones. It was a funny little mishap that happened when he told me something, and then I watched it. But anyway, they are doing some kind of local showing of it, maybe at the Narrow, maybe at ODU Planetarium. I have no fucking clue.
It doesn't say where it's at?
Not necessarily.
Okay. It'll be somewhere in Norfolk. Though.
Somewhere in Norfolk. Just keep an eye on our Instagrams. We'll let everybody know. But we're thinking about doing a crazy night where we actually go to this event, watch the movie, then come back and cover it. If that's not what happens, you guys have been told we're doing something that we haven't done before.
It happens all the time.
But what James Watch did say, this might be a good event for you guys to cover. He wanted to let us know, so we appreciate that. I'm going to reach out to him again and see what he's thinking or what exactly this. Yeah, 1 week away. So, yeah. I think that would be super cool. It's a local thing, so anybody that wants to follow this, we'll be sharing it on our social media, Instagram, J Squared Horror Podcast. We'll keep everybody on the loop on that. If we change our minds, we'll obviously just do whatever the fuck we want for next Thursday. But, yeah, as always, big shout out to Jeff Balance, who does our design work. Anything that you see behind us on YouTube, our logos, our T-shirts that we have, that's all done by Jeff Balance. A big shout out to Lucky Riggs, who does our intro and our outro music. We love it. Fits the podcast perfectly. A humongous shout out to the world's greatest host a guy could ask for, Mr. Jake Devine himself. Give it up for him, ladies and gentlemen. He is the best. He's my best fucking friend, the best fucking host I could have as a part of the podcast. So thank you, buddy.
Thank you.
Anything else you want to add to the episode before we sign off for the week?
Let me think. No.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. This is the J Squared Horror Podcast. My name's Josh.
And I'm Jake.
You guys have a great week. And always remember, it's hip to be squared.